Welcome back, Nick.
Thanks, dude. Good to be back. It was weird seeing you and Larry, and I wasn't there.
How did that feel?
Felt left out. I'm like, oh shit, I'm replaceable.
Damn, bro, don't feel like that. You're not replaceable, man.
Nah.
It was definitely a different vibe because I feel like me and Larry are more like in a serious tone,
Right.
and like I feel like me and you we banter more on a comedy tone. I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
It's definitely a different vibe, but it was still pretty cool conversation.
Yeah, I agree with you. Fuck Larry.
I didn't say that.
Say it with me. Say it with me. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Fuck Larry.
No, I can't say that. I don't know if you want to dig into why you skipped out last week or if you want to just move on to the next subject or what.
I guess we can because I opened up that door for social media because I felt like I needed help grieving. I wasn't here last week because my grandmother passed away, and it was crazy because we record on Tuesdays, and Tuesday morning I got a phone call from my mom in Brazil saying that, hey, this is probably the last time you're going to get to talk to your grandma. And I spoke to her, and she was in her deathbed, basically intubated and having a hard time breathing because she caught pneumonia in both lungs, and she's 94 years old. So, any mild sickness at that age could take you down. And so I kind of already knew it was coming. And right before we were going to start recording, literally, we were all already on FaceTime and the cameras were on and rolling, not rolling, but the cameras were on. And I see my mom calling me, and I'm like, damn, do I want to answer this? I know this is going to be bad news. I know this isn't going to be good news. But I knew I had to answer at the same time because, like, even putting myself aside and, doing this work, I just needed to be there for my mom because, yes, I lost a grandma, which was my last grandparent, which is hard to deal with. But my mom lost a mom. So I feel like that right there is a lot harder. I felt like I needed to be there for her in some sort of capacity. So yeah, I couldn't record. I couldn't. It was like literally too fresh. It was at that moment, so I needed to take a few days away even from social media, from everything, and just kind of grief with my mom and my family. And in Brazil, they do things extremely quickly. She passed away around 7 p.m. on Tuesday, and by Wednesday, 7 a.m., they're already doing her funeral. That's how things work in Brazil.
Wow. Yeah, it was definitely it was like super unexpected because we were all on like FaceTime or whatever. And then I just saw you talking to your mom. Me and Larry are kind of like not really hearing what you were saying, but we're just kind of talking to each other. And then all of a sudden you're like, I can't record, guys. I gotta go. And like we thought you hit your head or something because you were like this, like, with your hand on your head, like acting like, I don't know. It was like very, very fucking confusing, but I honestly, I wouldn't have never guessed. Like you sent us a text afterwards and basically said what happened, and fuck, dude, like that's such a shitty ass situation. Because that also puts me to think about like my grandma. I only have one grandma, and she's like already getting old, and I should just call her more often, and like appreciate the time that she's here. Man, grandparents, bro, they're gonna go. Sooner or later. I feel like this is just a wake up call, honestly, for me at least.
Yeah. I'm glad you can feel this way through my experience and, maybe share more intimate moments with your grandma because, yeah, that's true. They're not going to be there forever. And I guess what really hit me hard, besides that being my last grandparent, was our moms are now grandmas. They're getting old. We're getting older. So my last grandparent passing away made me feel old because last time that I went to Brazil, which was last year, I hadn't gone back in about 10 years prior to that. And I just remember when I was there last year looking at my uncles and like, damn, you look like grandpa because you're so old. I don't know. It just feels like, damn, like I had so many good and amazing memories with you guys. Now you guys aren't as mobile, you know. We all have a ticking time clock, and it just feels like, you know, they're closer to the end that they were to the beginning. And I don't know, it's a scary thought. Like, death is a natural part of life, but it doesn't matter how ready you are for it. Because again, my grandma was 94, and we were expecting this, but until they actually leave is when you kind of start putting a lot of things into perspective, and it forces you to think about certain things, you know?
Yeah. Even when I went to Brazil, bro, just seeing my dad like so much older is fucking trippy, dude. And the time before that, I went in 2022 because that's when I really saw the difference. Because prior to that, it was like in 2010. So that was a long time ago. I was like 18 at the time. And now going back as like a, 30-year-old, I'm like, yo, you've changed. And he saw that I changed a lot too. I gained some weight or whatnot. But just seeing my dad with like gray facial hair, I'm like, yo, time is fucking flying. I remember him being a lot younger. So it was definitely trippy to see that.
Yeah, even my mom. Like, I look at my mom and I'm like, yo, you're starting to look more and more like grandma. And that is a scary thought. Because, again, like, it's one thing to lose a grandma, but to lose a mother is must be a wild feeling. And I mean, we're eventually going to know what that feels like, but I hope it's no time soon for both of us, but it's inevitable.
It's so hard to think about death like that.
I was kind of struggling. This is the first time that I really struggled with the death of somebody. And I don't usually share these types of things on like social media, but I just felt like it was going to help my grieving process in trying to share just like the last time that I got to see my grandma in person. And it did, the overwhelming love from people. And you don't necessarily hear from these people from a long time, and then they're watching your story all the time, and they see that and they just want to extend a hand and say, hey, like, I'll be praying for you and your family, and if you need anything, please don't hesitate to call. That's a good feeling. It made me feel loved. I feel loved, but in that moment right there, the extra love definitely helped.
Yeah, it's definitely what you needed.
But moving on from something not as sad, dude. Did you see that strawberry video that I sent you?
Yeah, I actually have seen that video before. It's pretty fucking trippy that strawberries are not red on the inside out here. But I actually did buy strawberries the other day from these Amish people, and it was super red on the inside.
Really?
And they're like a lot smaller, because you know how like Costco or these grocery store strawberries be like fucking humongous? Like, this was like little tiny strawberries and super red, super sweet.
Yeah, that's the scary part. We're literally poisoned by our government because they allow the food suppliers to do whatever and tamper with the food and genetically modify them to the point where it's not as nutritionally dense as it was, let's say, 50 years ago, 70 years ago. And the main thing that's supposed to be our medicine is the food. However, they kind of take that away from you in order for you to supplement that with synthetic medicine that they make in labs.
I mean, it's all for profit too.
Yeah, for sure. And like sustainability, or as people like Bill Gates say, oh, we need to do this in order for us to feed the world and stuff like that. I don't know if I believe too much in that, dude. Like, if you want to genetically modify these things, give it to the people that you're saying that are starving and don't have these fruits and vegetables. But even them, they'll be like, what the hell is this? This isn't a real fruit that I'm used to. I don't know how true this is, but I heard that watermelons are really actually like the size of a smaller melon, not these big, huge watermelons that we see all the time.
I mean, everything's been modified, dude, just so they can grow a lot of it and sell more.
And there are things that are just man-made. Like, apparently, it's not broccoli. What's the white one? Cauliflower. I hate cauliflower personally, but I heard that cauliflower is man-made. Literally did not exist until...
So is broccoli.
Broccoli as well?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Oh, I didn't hear that. I didn't know that.
Look it up.
Damn.
fucking lab grown.
Yeah, it's like what do you do? What can you do? Even growing stuff, like you have to know the seeds that you're getting, because if you don't get the right seeds, then you're still growing something that's been genetically modified because the seeds have been genetically modified. And on top of that, if you have something that's, let's say, non-genetically modified and you're growing it somewhere, if there's somebody growing something that is genetically modified within, I think it's like 20 square miles or 15 square miles, and wind blows and the pollen from that fruit and vegetables blows onto yours is going to get contaminated as well. So it's like, what can you do?
I think it's out of our control. I don't think we could do anything about it. I mean, you could try to as much as you can. Like even me, like I should try to shop at the farmers market out here, and where the Amish people are, and try to get products from there. But even then, like who knows if their seeds are also genetically modified.
Yeah, that's true. But damn, I feel like the Amish got something right, man.
They definitely do.
And it's like we're so into this world. And I mean, we obviously depend on technology for our careers as well. So it's not something we're able to just give up like that. But damn, I kind of envy them in certain manners of like they're able to live, thrive, and survive without all this mainstream media technology and everything else. They're in their own world.
They're not as stimulated too. Mm-hmm. So they feel like more joy from little things. At least that's what I noticed, because we're so fucking doped out with these fucking videos that we constantly get bombarded with online. We're always getting fed these, dopamine release, and I feel like we're kind of becoming immune to almost everything.
Yeah.
Not only that, but like porn addiction's been all-time high, and that depletes you from dopamine too. It's like, bro, people don't feel joy in anything. you know, like when you're on NoFap, dude, like you feel joy just from the wind hitting your face. You really do.
I thought you were gonna say wind hitting your balls.
Hey, I didn't try that, but I'm sure you do.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, there is nothing better than when you go for a run, or it's just like a hot summer day, and then you just take off your underwear and your balls are just free and you could feel some breeze.
So you do that in public, or do you do that when you get home?
In the house. It's not real wind. I guess it's AC wind, but damn, that feels good too.
I can definitely see that. We're on day 3 right now of no screen time for our daughter. And it's definitely like a little challenge for sure, because there's certain things that you want to do, that just putting a screen in front of her is going to make it so much easier. I don't know, man. We've been noticing that she's been getting a little attitude and being impatient and just kind of like, throwing tantrums, a lot of tantrums for like little stuff. So we're just trying to see if having no screen time affects it at all, at least for a week or 2 weeks or whatever, just to see if it makes a difference.
Yeah, I mean, I think it definitely does. And, kids not being patient is normal. My son rarely gets screen time. We would give him a little bit more screen time before, when we would put him in his high chair and he just didn't want to eat. So we would throw on some Blippy and he would kind of watch it and eat at the same time. But we took out the high chair maybe like a month ago, and we gave him like a little table. So now he doesn't watch anything.
So he just eats, no problem?
Nah, hell no. I'm not saying that. But honestly, he eats when we eat. And that's what I've noticed. Like, he wants whatever we're eating. So a lot of the times I have to trick him. Like, if I have like, we don't really buy cold cuts here, but once every few months, we feel like eating some cold cuts. So we'll buy some like ham, cheese, turkey, salami, and we'll just make cold cut sandwiches for like 2 weeks. And in this past 2 weeks, that's what we've been doing. Like, I bought some cold cuts, so we've been eating a lot more cold cut sandwiches. and I don't want to give him any of that because it has monoglycate, something like that. I forgot what it is, but it's a preservative that's terrible for us and causes cancer. So I don't want to give him any of that. I don't want to expose him to that. But whatever he sees us eating, he wants to eat. So what do? I make him another sandwich of just bread and some whipped cream cheese or something like that, and I put it on my plate as well. And then as I'm eating mine, I kind of like put my plate up so he can't see it, and then I'll bring out his sandwich and let him take bites of his sandwich, and so he thinks that he's eating my sandwich as well, but he's really not.
Yeah, Lily's not great with eating at all. Like, it fucking sucks trying to feed her, bro, because she's so picky with like everything. All she wants is snacks and some sort of like cheese, or like mac and cheese she'll fucking eat all day.
Really?
But it's really hard just getting her to eat like even protein sometimes, like chicken or meat.
Yeah.
Or any veggies is off the table. Like sometimes we have to like stuff the veggies in something else, like in like one of those pasta, just so she can get some type of veggie. And I used to like give her breakfast, because she does have like this sort of oatmeal every morning for breakfast, and she eats that no problem. It's like a mingao. I don't know if that's the right translation.
Yeah, I think oatmeal is mingao.
Well, yeah, I give her that every single day, but I used to like put like a iPad in front of her just so I can like, just because she loses patience so quickly. She's like just over it if she's not like stimulated by something. So then like I used to just put like Blippi or something for her to watch, and I would feed her that way. But now it's just it's different with no screen time, because now I have to like constantly even bring new stuff to the table. So she's like maybe reading or looking at a toy or drawing, so it's like always something different. Like the mornings are definitely a lot more challenging too, because I have like certain things that I gotta do, like unload the dishwasher and cook my own breakfast, and like she always wants to like be involved in. Before it was much easier, but now is like, honestly, it has turned fun, but it's definitely a lot more work, like having her constantly be my shadow now.
I think the more you do these things and the more constant that you are with these things, the more they learn. Like before, my son would not let me chill. Like we basically gated him into our living room, so he has no access to the kitchen or access to go upstairs. So the living room is basically his playground. And if you, or you as in me or my girl, leave the living room, then he would start freaking out. But now I got him a little bit more accustomed to, like, I'll tell him like, hey, I'll be right back, and I'll go upstairs and do something for like 2-3 minutes, and he's chilling. Like he's usually now distracted with something. He loves sports. So I have like 10 balls in the living room. I have like 5 soccer balls and 5 basketballs, and he's just constantly playing with them. Now he learned that he can throw. So now we can't even keep things on the countertop of our kitchen, because he starts throwing balls and it hits a cup and it'll fall and break. So I'm trying to teach him like, don't do that. But he thinks it's a game, and it's like they don't like, they understand no, but they choose to not understand no. Like it's like selective listening.
So he's obsessed with like just sports in general. Like does he have a preference, like basketball or soccer or something?
He definitely likes soccer over basketball. And bro, it's crazy. It like, I don't like, I'll play soccer all the time with him, but the things that he naturally does is a little bit mind-boggling. Like he'll kick with both his left and his right foot, and I'm like, yo, like if you're doing that naturally, that's crazy.
Yeah, not everyone can do that.
No, kids have to learn to kick with their off foot. He's kicking it with both feet, no problem. I'm like, damn, like I can't do that, and I'm a grown-ass adult. So it's pretty cool to see, and I'm excited for him to get older and older, so I can actually train him in these sports and go out to the park and be his coach.
That's gonna be fun.
Yeah. Meanwhile, you're gonna be dressed up in tiaras. Your girl's gonna be putting makeup on you. I love seeing those videos online where it's like boy, what is it? damn, why am I messing up over here? Girl dads versus boy dads. And it's like a boy dad and he's like holding a PS5 and like a soccer ball versus like a girl dad. And he's like holding like a little tutu and he's just like with his daughter getting makeup put on his face.
She's already starting to want to do that because she's like obsessed with like going into my girl's like makeup bag and like getting the lipstick and like the, you know, the brush or whatever, and she's just like obsessed with it. Every time she sees the makeup bag, she just wants to go in there and like start messing with stuff. She's also obsessed like with painting. Every single morning she's asking me to paint.
No way.
Yeah, I get like some colored paints and she just like gets a paintbrush and just starts drawing on a piece of paper or painting on a piece of paper. But then eventually she starts painting her hand and like everything else, and then it turns into a mess.
That's what I was gonna ask. She started painting the walls and painting the floor and stuff like that?
No, we usually like keep an eye on her whenever we give her paint, or else, yeah, the whole house will be painted for sure.
Yeah. Let's get a little controversial here. What would you say if your daughter came up to you and says, "Daddy, I want to be a boy"?
Good time to talk about this in 2025, huh?
Good time, man. Let your opinions out.
And she's how old?
Maybe 5, 6.
You a girl.
Okay, what does that change if she's 12?
Yeah, she's still a girl.
So it doesn't change by age. Why did you ask me what age is she?
Because if she's a minor, then to me she's a girl, and no, she cannot change her sex.
Okay, so she's 18 and she comes to you and tells you that, and
then she can do whatever she wants. Yeah, I mean, I have no control after she's 18.
I don't know about that. I have a different opinion on that personally. If you're under my roof, my mom has always said this to me.
No, yeah, that's sorry. There is a little disclaimer. I think if I'm paying for her bills and she's, you know, like living in my house, then yeah, she's not gonna fucking do that. Fuck that. No. But if she has her own independent life and she's paying her own bills, then you can do whatever the fuck you want.
I mean, of course you could do whatever you want, but I don't know.
I'm not saying I support it. I'm just saying, like, there's only so much I can do, you know? There's only so much I can say. I would definitely try to, like, convince her not to do it, but at the same time, it's her fucking life.
Yeah. I mean, full disclaimer, I have nothing against trans people. I have trans friends like you. No, I'm just kidding. But but I don't know. I'm a little bit hesitant with, you know, our brain doesn't stop developing until we're 26 years old. Like, I remember doing things when I was 18 years old, I'm sure as do you, that I look back at it and I'm like, what an idiot I was to do these things at that age, you know? So, and we filmed this stuff. Like, there's so many videos that now we have privated, but we'll sometimes take a look at it and see what we used to do back in the days. And we're like, I acted like an idiot, like a complete, utter idiot. So at 18 years old, your brain isn't fully developed. I think if you do want to transition, I think a age of maybe not 26, but maybe around like 24. 26 is a good age though. Like 26, your brain is fully developed technically, scientifically. So, and also I don't feel like a lot of people will transition at that age of 26. I feel like people transition at an earlier age, you know, because they think that this is what they want. Just like when people get a tattoo when they're 18 years old and now they're in their 30s, they're like, damn, I regret getting this tattoo.
Yeah, I was about to say that the reason why I never got a tattoo is because I knew that my brain wasn't fully developed and my taste would change, like my mentality would change. So, but I always thought it was like after 30, not 26.
Yeah, From what I know, it's 26 years old.
Yeah, I always assume like only after 30, then I'll decide if I should get a tattoo or not. But after I turned 30, I still didn't feel like getting a tattoo, so I never got one.
Yeah. I remember I used to want to get a sleeve when I was 18 years old. And then I always just kind of kept brushing it off. I mean, to be honest with you, I still feel like getting a sleeve, but I just... I don't know. I guess I wouldn't want to do that because I kind of think of myself when I'm older. I'm like 50 years old, 60 years old and like have a sleeve. I don't know, to each their own. Like I see Joe Rogan and he's in his 50s and I'm like, that still looks pretty good, but I don't know. I just don't think that it's necessarily for me.
Yeah. So what would you tell Zayden if he wanted to turn into a girl before the age of 26?
I would guide him, tell him that why does he feel this way? Like I'll try to find the underlying reason and how long has he felt this way. I'll try to get as much information as possible and just try to guide him and tell him that, hey, like if it's one thing to want to transition, and it's a whole other thing if, you know, if you like the same sex, that's totally different, you know? So I don't know. I don't agree with transitioning. I think God intended us to be whatever we are. And there are some mild cases out there where people are born with both genitals, you know, so then that I don't have an answer for. But in my specific case with my son is born as a perfectly healthy boy, and I wouldn't want him to transition to a girl. I guess the reason I brought this up is because there's this famous soccer player. He used to play for Barcelona. Now he plays here in the MLS, which is the league in the United States. And I think it was his son's 7th or 8th birthday. And it was super controversial because his son was wearing a tiara and a dress for his 7th or 8th birthday. Me personally, I'm not okay with that. I would tell my son, like, hey, you're not wearing a dress. I don't care how you feel. You're not going to put on a dress. Like, that's for girls. Boys do this, you know? And I mean, who knows what the future holds, but from what I can see, naturally, my son just gravitates to boy stuff. He loves sports. He loves cars. You know, he doesn't care for anything like girl related makeup and all that type of stuff. He doesn't care at all.
But do you think that would be different if he grew up with just seeing people do girl stuff?
Yes, 100% that would be different, because to him it normalizes it. It makes it normal, you know? So a child is going to be a product of his environment. So if he's used to that, then that's his normal, and I'm not used to that. It's funny though, because I grew up in a salon. I grew up with a single mom inside of a salon. Basically, she owned a salon throughout her whole life. I was always around women and salon and hair. To think that I would turn out gay potentially, you know, but
I was about to say that explains a lot.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, like never felt that way in my life. But also maybe also because I grew up in Brazil, or at least until like that crucial age of 6, I was in Brazil. And you know, those South American countries are a little bit more macho. Like machoism is a thing, especially in the 90s. You know, I feel like nowadays things are a little bit more open, but especially back in those days, it's different.
So let me ask you this. Is being gay a choice, or are they born gay?
I think, I don't know. I don't have the answer first off, but I think people are born gay.
Even after saying that people are products of their own environment?
Yeah, because that's not to say that everybody's born gay. I think there are definitely people that are born gay, and there are other people that are born into an environment that, you know, like if you grow up with 2 dads, the probability of you being gay is way higher than you growing up with a mom and a dad, you know?
Is it?
So, I mean, I don't have the stats. I can check it out right now, but I feel like it makes sense, right?
Usually kids try not to be like their parents, but then they end up being like their parents. But that's more of like gene based.
I don't have an entire study here, but according to Cambridge University, on Google, I asked, is it more likely to be gay if your parents are? According to a study in 2008, says that they found evidence across several studies that children, particularly girls, raised by gay parents were somewhat more likely to experience homoerotic attraction in homosexual relationships. But I mean, that makes total sense to me.
Wow.
Taking out the gay thing, like if your dad is a thief and you're around that all the time, you're more likely to be a thief. Like that's just what it is.
Yeah. So how are people born gay instead of being manipulated into being gay?
I mean, I have no idea. I just think that people are born gay. I think that's just what it is, because you see young boys that are very feminine and young girls that are very masculine per se.
Yeah, but is that because of something they watched, or is it already embedded in them? Because I've seen boys that are very feminine, and I could tell like from the early age, like, no, that dude's gay.
Right.
But is it because he always hung around his mom or other girls, or is it because he thought he was that? Same with
Right.
like trans people, you know? Did they always think from an early age that they were the opposite sex?
I mean, I hear stories of that.
No, yeah, there's definitely stories of that, but is that the truth?
Even like studying this stuff, I feel like it's very difficult to come to a truth per se. You know what I mean? Because you don't remember how you felt as a child, especially before the age of 3. You don't know. And even if I put you to a lie detector test, you're going to believe whatever you believed at a certain age, not at the age of 1, 2, 3 per se. So it's hard to really come to a conclusion and like do studies on this. I think I don't even know how they conduct these type of studies, to be honest with you. It's not like you can ask a baby, are you gay? Because they have no idea what that means.
Yeah. I just think it's wrong that parents allow kids to change sex. Like, that makes no sense to me. Like,
Yeah, no, that should be illegal, to be honest with you.
I truly don't understand that.
And there's like, it's a double-edged sword too, because at the same time, you know, gay people deserve, not gay people, trans people deserve to fulfill their dreams, you know, and there's some trans people that their dreams is to be an actor, an actress, and be on the screen. But now you're doing that and you're portraying a character that's in a kid's show per se, you know, so now you're kind of indoctrinating a kid. But I don't know, dude. Like, I'm so conflicted with these things. Like, I'm all for you do you, as long as it doesn't affect me. You could do whatever you want. As long as it doesn't affect me or like hurt anybody, do you. Like, if that's what you believe, then do it. I'm all for it. But there's a fine line of being the way that I am and now tolerating certain things. Like, I'm going to tolerate this. So now, you know, they start getting into positions in like Disney Channel, stuff like that. You know, now they're pushing this agenda forward that I don't agree with, you know. So just being a little bit tolerant is opening up the door for a bunch of nonsense. And I don't want to be the opposite where I'm not tolerant for any of this shit and I just cut it off, because again, I do believe that if you want to live your life the way you want to live, do your thing. But I guess just don't expect me to live according to your standards, because I have my own standards and I don't try to push my own standards down your throat.
Yeah, or even trying to manipulate our kids, like you're saying with Disney, or like the teachers having, you know, gay pride flags in the classrooms, or even like these gay parades, bro. Like, these men or whoever, like they walk around the street with just like a fucking Speedo or something with their ass cheeks hanging out, and kids being able to see that. Like, what no, let's not fucking do that. Like, do that in your own fucking house.
It sucks because I have gay friends that they hate that type of stuff, because they look at it and they're like, they're ruining it for everybody else. You know, like, if you're going to be gay, just be gay. Just be gay. You don't have to go over the top and do these things that seem provocative and try to get attention. Like, why do this? You're ruining it for everybody else. I have gay friends that you look at them, you're like, I didn't even know you were gay. You know, and I think that's how it should be. Like, nobody that's straight is trying to push their agenda of like, oh yeah, I'm so straight. Like, who gives a fuck? Just do you. But gay people have been suppressed throughout history, you know, so they feel some sort of way and now they want to express. They're like, I can be openly gay and say what I want to say, but there's a fine line, you know, there's a very fine line of like, okay, like, I get that you're happy that you're gay, but why do you have to showcase to like everybody in a Speedo waving the flag that you're gay? Like, does that make you more gay? Like, I don't get it.
I've seen gay parades where like people are just pissing on each other just because that's their kink.
Yeah, again, I think those particular gay people, and there's a lot of people in the trans community that are over the top as well, they ruin it for the other people that are trying to get away from that.
I don't know. It's definitely becoming a way different world than what I imagined.
Same. I thought we'd be having flying cars by now, but guess not.
You think that's ever gonna happen? Because I feel like that sounds pretty fucking dangerous. Like, people are such bad drivers. Imagine them being in the fucking sky.
If it were to get to that point, it would be automated, you know, kind of like Teslas are. I don't think we're going to get to that because I think AI is going to destroy this world way before then.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm a big believer that AI is going to mess up this world in a very bad way, like the Terminator type vibe, the Matrix.
So we're close to the end, is what you're saying.
We're way closer to the end than we are to the beginning.
But, you know, how long do you think we have till the world ends?
I don't know, maybe a century, maybe less. I have no idea. The way technology is so fast nowadays.
That's a long time. I would assume you would say a lot less.
I don't know, 50 years? I have no idea. I'm just saying by 100 years from now, it's for sure going to be over. Or like not over, but, you know, we could be living in a chaotic world where computers and robots have taken over.
Damn, bro, I can't even, like, imagine that. Would it really be like the fucking Terminator movie? Or like iRobot?
My thing is like, think about how many evil people are in this world, right? That will do wild, crazy shit if they had the opportunity and the power. You know, like, I don't want to say his name, but the guy that ran Germany in World War II, there's a lot of people that have that same sort of mentality. So if those people had power to do stuff, then they would do some very radical things. And it just takes one person to plant something inside of a computer or inside of AI, and that AI is going to spread like a virus into other computers. And then eventually it's like, what can you do?
There's got to be a kill switch.
There's not going to be a kill switch, bro. Because even on top of that, even besides AI going crazy, every country is competing against one another, especially countries that are rivals. Like China is competing with the United States over who can create the most powerful AI. And that right there, you're putting aside things to keep it safe because you're just trying to get to the top as fast as you can. It's the same thing with, you know, allegedly getting to space, whoever got to space first. They don't care about safety. They just want to make sure that we do it as fast as we can. So with AI, that's inevitable, bro. Like it's... And all the smart minds that are into developing AI, or, you know, like Elon Musk, everybody's skeptical about AI. They're all like, yeah, the world's probably going to end with AI. So, like, if the smartest people in the world are saying this shit and we're just like lillygagging on by, like, oh, yeah, we're okay.
Well, that's because people don't give a fuck either. Like, people are just so, like, immune to all this new information that they just don't care. They're just living their own little lives in their own little bubble. Like, people have no empathy anymore, man. It's a fucking careless world out there. They see someone on the street, like, fucking dying, they'll just pass right by the person and continue on with their day.
I mean, to be honest with you, I feel like I've kind of became that way, especially living in a big city like LA where there's homeless people all around, especially being somewhere like downtown LA or Hollywood. I've had so many bad and negative interactions with homeless people. I avoid them at all costs. You know, I've been threatened. My life has been threatened multiple times by homeless people. And you don't know if they're just messing around because they're on drugs, or they might actually do it because they're on drugs.
All leads to drugs.
Yeah, dude. It's sad. I literally shot in downtown LA last week. And shout out to our friend Quay that just opened a new restaurant in downtown LA.
Oh, shit. I got to check that out. It looks good.
Oh, delicious. Absolutely delicious.
I'm super into seafood too.
Yeah. Oh my God. He has this one, it's a seafood egg roll. Oh, so good. Anyways, we're shooting and his restaurant's in downtown LA. Bro, the amount of homeless crackheads that I seen walk by with their skin all messed up from using drugs or like just dirty clothes and stuff like that. And you know, like we can sit here and be like, oh, why are you judging? Why are you judging? We as human beings naturally judge, especially like when it comes to our life and our safety. That goes back to caveman days. If you see somebody running with a spear, you're going to be like, I'm not getting close to that guy, you know? So it's the same thing. If I see a homeless person cracked out of their mind and like a bunch of like injuries on their face or all dirty and stuff like that, yeah, I'm going to avoid that person. I'm not going to get close to them. And it sucks to say, but that's just how humanity is. And also, besides just in person, just how people are online and how ruthless they are and how quickly somebody is to bash you and say some wild shit to you that they will most likely never say to your face, but because they're behind a screen, they can just say whatever they want and they have an opinion. Like, everybody has a damn opinion. They just all want to post something online.
Yeah, I'm also scared of like something really bad happening and like someone not caring or helping out and just standing there like recording the whole thing. A lot of times when I see these videos online, the person filming is not doing anything about it. You know, they're just like standing by with their phone, basically filming everything, like not helping out at all. I think it's so fucked up.
Yeah, dude. I mean, that's the life that we live.
You feel like you're ever gonna leave Cali?
I'm so conflicted, dude. Like, I love California. I love the weather. I love the community that I've built out here. I love the creator community. I love many things about Los Angeles, but I hate the politics behind it. You know, I hate the taxes. I hate the high property value. You know, the home that I have here, I can get something 3 times the size if I were to move to somewhere like Georgia. So I can see myself eventually moving, but I don't know. I'm open to staying here. You know, I don't know. I don't know, dude. I don't know.
We should all move to a state with no income tax.
But then, like, what's a state with no income tax? Florida? I don't want to move back to Florida. Las Vegas or Nevada? I don't want to move to Nevada.
There's Tennessee.
Tennessee's I'm a little bit more open to Tennessee.
I need to check out Tennessee. I honestly want to do a tour of like a bunch of cities just to see if there's something better out there for me to explore, you know?
Yeah.
Because I really like where I live. I like a lot of things about it, but at the same time, I always think that there's something better out there, you know? Even in my room, bro, like I'm always changing up my fucking furnitures because I always think I can make it better. I don't know, maybe it's not even like the search of like finding something better, but just some sort of change, you know? Like just to change it up.
Yeah. Yeah, you sound like my mom. Every time I would come home from high school, she would, like every few months, she would change up the entire house, and I'm like, bro, why?
Bro, I'm like that. My grandma's like that too.
Yeah, I'm okay with having things set up the same way, but I am always looking for something better, you know? But like the way my furniture is arranged, I could give a shit. Like, if I'm going to figure out what that way is initially, and then maybe I might change it in the future, but for the most part, it's probably going to stay the same. Like, I lived in the Glendale apartment in Los Angeles for 4 years, and my room basically stayed the same. I just kept adding shit to it.
No, I've always changed it up, dude. Like even my desk, like I'm always changing it around, and like I don't know. Even when I had my office too, my office space, I would always keep changing shit, like every month even. I don't know why I'm like that.
It's because you didn't grow up with a father, and you have something missing.
You didn't grow up with a father either.
I know, I was just talking shit.
I think it's genetics because my grandma's the same way. Dude, my grandma has moved around so fucking much, bro. My mom tells me stories where she would come home from school and there would be like no furnitures in the house because my grandma would just say, oh, we're moving. She would just have to like leave that day and go to another city. Another place.
Nah, that's crazy.
My mom did that shit to me before.
Really?
Yeah, my mom, when she got married and we had to move to Tampa from South Florida, my mom gave me like a week heads up. Like, it wasn't last minute like her mom did, you know, but my mom gave me a week and I just had to like leave my fucking school. It was like in the middle of the school year. I had to leave the school, join a new school, be the new kid, make new friends, adapt to a whole fucking new city just because she got married.
Yeah, that sounds a little wild.
I don't blame her though. I mean, she had pretty good reasons and stuff, but still,
right.
You know, as a kid, you're like, fuck that.
Yeah, yeah. Especially in the middle of the school year. Like, I moved in the middle of the school year, but my mom made me switch to the other school anyways. But when I moved again, my mom let me finish the school year because I moved from Pompano to Boca Raton, which is 30 minutes north in Florida. And when I moved to Boca, my mom immediately switched me to the school in Boca, which I don't blame her as well, because I was going to a very ghetto middle school in Pompano, and then I went to like a really nice, which is funny because we went to the same middle school but never met each other.
Right.
And then when I moved back to Pompano, my mom let me finish the school year in Boca before moving back to Pompano.
Yeah, mine was kind of the opposite. I was going to a great school in Boca, and then I had to go to a fucking ghetto ass school in Tampa. And it was just a huge switch up on me, bro. I feel like I kind of got depressed, honestly, because I basically lost all my friends. Like, all my friends are in South Florida, and I had to make new ones in Tampa. And most people, like, I wasn't compatible with. So I only had like a very tight knit like group of people that I hung out, who were basically just like other soccer players, because we're like, that's where I became friends with them, is like joining the soccer team.
Right, because I mean, from living in Boca to living in Tampa, that's 4 or 5 hours. So it's not like you could just go to your friends on the weekend. I mean, you can, but you're not going to do that often, especially, as a high schooler.
Right. I remember our friend Larry found out that I moved, and I was already in Tampa, because like my mom told me not to tell anyone that we were moving because she didn't want my dad finding out. So I told Larry that I moved after I had already moved. He got so mad, bro. He's like, man, we can't be friends anymore. What the fuck? He was like so fucking butthurt. It was hilarious. Like now that I'm looking at it, but at the time it was fucking depressing, dude. But yeah, it fucking sucks moving, bro. I moved a lot too. I think like I counted, I think it's like 8 or 9 times that I moved in my lifetime.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I wonder how many times I moved. I mean, like growing up, I moved 8 times. And then after that, I moved a lot more times, because I went to the Air Force. So I lived in Texas, then I lived back in Florida, then I moved to Atlanta, then I moved back to Florida, then I moved to LA. But I get it. Like, we're always, especially as adults, you're in search of opportunity, and you're just in search of finding yourself. And I think it's important, especially as an adult, to leave home, get away from where you grew up and just see what it's like out there. But I don't feel like we would be that way if we didn't move that many times. Because think about this. Think about Larry. Larry grew up where he grew up in Florida, so he didn't move that many times.
Right.
And he's still living in Florida. Not to say that he won't move out of Florida eventually, but it's less likely because he's been living kind of in the same place throughout his whole life, Yeah. Meanwhile, me and you have been moving around a lot.
It feels like I can never put down roots. Like, I'm always thinking of the next thing, the next city, the next place. And I don't know, dude. I don't know if that's a good thing. Because my girl, she was raised differently. She didn't move that many times. She's still, like, her parents are still at the house she grew up in, Like, she still has her old room in Brazil.
Wow.
So it's like, it's a whole different fucking life. I've never had that opportunity to, like, go back to a home. I don't even have a hometown if you really think about it. I mean, I do consider South Florida to be my hometown, but in Florida, I moved a lot, dude. I lived in Coconut Creek. I lived in Boca. I lived in Tampa. And then I moved back down to freaking Pompano. Yeah, I think that's it. But still, like, so many freaking times, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I moved a lot, but I definitely think, I mean, South Florida for sure is my hometown. And I don't have that same feeling that you have of, I want to move around. Like, I'm okay with staying in one place for multiple years. Like, to me, it's either between Los Angeles and Atlanta. So I'm either going to be living in one of these two places in the next 20, 30 years, potentially my whole life. And because also I want to bring that stability to my kids as well. I want them to be able to grow up in a single place.
I want that too. And that's why I'm trying to figure out, like, the best place before she even starts school, Because, like, once she starts school, that's when I want to put, like, that's when I want to stick to one place. Because I definitely don't want her moving around too much like that. Bro, it sucks being a new kid. And, like, having old childhood friends is the best, Like, my girl has fucking childhood friends that she's known basically her whole life, because she went to a private school that started super young all the way to high school.
Yeah, that is cool.
So she's had the same group of friends like basically her whole life. And I could say the same thing because I met Larry in church when I was super young, but it wasn't like kindergarten young.
I have friends from when I was 6 years old. Like my first actual friend here in the United States, Gabriel, shout out to Gabriel. I met him in Boston when I was 6 years old. And I mean, I can't say that I hang out with him like that when I go to South Florida, but we can hang out, you know. I still know him. He knows me. We like follow each other on Instagram and stuff like that, but it's not like a intimate relationship like that.
Isn't it crazy that like you could have like this whole life of where you're hanging out with someone every single day and out of nowhere you're just completely disconnected from that person? Because I have that too. Like when I lived in Boca, I had a best friend who I would hang out with every single fucking day, bro. We were like glued. We were super close. And then once I moved, it kind of like, we became a little bit distant. And now it's like I haven't called them in freaking almost a decade, I feel.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty bad with that too, though. Like I'm not the best at reaching out to people.
Same. Like I feel like I'm not as bad as you. You suck, but but I feel like I could definitely get way better.
Yeah, I definitely want to like link up with these old childhood friends one day and just kind of like catch up, like on video even, like I think that would be pretty cool.
I feel like on video makes it weird.
You think so?
Yeah, because like me and you are used to video, so it's not weird for us, but
right
when they're not used to that, it's weird. Because also I'm sure a lot of these people probably have followed you or still follow you, and they see the stuff that you do, so they're gonna, I don't know, they feel weird. Like that's not a good idea. It has to be on like a just hang out, go do some shit, go get some food.
No, I would want to do that before too, like before even like filming anything, but I would definitely like to capture it on video at least, just to so I can have it for my own memories.
I get the feeling. I just think that people act different when the camera's around.
No, yeah, I definitely agree with that for sure. But it's always something that I envisioned one day, like having a little documentary crew following me, like where I grew up in Brazil and shit. Like, I don't know if you ever think about that, but dude, I always, like my whole life I've been thinking about that, like having like a little documentary crew and like just showing where I grew up and what school I went to and all that.
I never thought of that shit. But hey, I guess to make it less weird, you can come to where I grew up and you film me, and I'll go to where you grew up and I'll film you,
I don't know. I always maybe thought I was more important than I actually am.
Oh, dude, you're important, man.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
All right, well, wrap this shit up because I got a damn meeting to get to.
All right. Let's wrap it up. Guys, thank you so much for watching / listening. Do your thing. See you guys next week.
Yeah. Leave a comment. Thank you.
Yes, don't forget that.